If I have a bat in the cave, y'all will tell me, right? Dutch word of the video. I guess the Dutch word of the video is more of a phrase. It's not really a word. But I used to say this all the time when ending off my messages to my husband. I don't anymore, really. Maybe I should start again. Maybe he would enjoy it. We'll see. I'm sure he'll tell me. But the Dutch phrase of the video is ik en bid je. Ik en bid je. That means I adore you. Love that phrase. There's obviously the one that we know, I love you, ik hou van jou, but everyone can say ik hou van jou and really mean it and all that. That's great. But ik en bid je has something special to it. It feels special coming out of my mouth, and when I say it towards my husband, it's something that it's just a little bit more. But yes, Dutch phrase of the video this time, ik en bid je. I adore you. Now on to the video. I'm here today to talk about my top auto-buy authors and my favorite books from them. I have a select few authors that the second that they get a book, the second they release one, I'm there and it's pre-ordered. I have it. We're on the go. These authors, they really have helped me when it comes to either reading slumps, finding new genres, just change my overall perspective on things. I just really enjoy their writing, and I always am the first in line to grab them, either the second they release and I'm at the bookstore, or I pre-order them. Most of the time it's pre-ordering. I don't have very many of these authors, and I do want to pinpoint two authors that are not going to be on this list, and that is my favorite fantasy writer, Laurie Forrest. She only has one series out right now, and I don't want to just, highlight her all the time. I highlight her several times, like a month, on my Instagram. So I want to make sure that I'm being fair to other authors when it comes to that. But she's an amazing fantasy writer. She writes a series called The Black Witch Chronicles. Right here. I am obsessed, obviously. I have several copies of this book. I have this in hardcover, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook. I'm obsessed. So yeah. So I will not be talking about her today, even though I already did. I will also not be talking about Susan Dennard, who is another fantasy writer who I love so much. She writes the Witchland series. She also has a couple other series like The Luminaries, and Executioners 3 is coming out soon, but her very first series is the Something Strange and Deadly series. We have all of them, but again, I talk about her a lot.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
No.
Okay.
She's possessed. I don't want to highlight people that I'm continuously talking about and just have the repetitiveness on the channel. So love her. But real quick, if you're looking for a change in scenery when it comes to fantasy, I recommend. We are going to discuss the 8 auto-buy authors that I love so much. And I'm going to be highlighting my favorite books from them. So let's get the ball rolling, shall we? Number 1 is an author that I've spoken about many times on my channel. She's my favorite rom-com author. Her name is Livy Hart. She currently has 4 books out, coming out with a 5th one soon, hopefully. But we have her first debut, Talk Flirty to Me. Absolutely love that book. Britt actually connected with Livy on Twitter before the book was released, and we were able to read the book in advance, and ever since then I've gotten the books in advance every time. Livy, to me anyway, has become a friend of mine, and I absolutely love her. She's not only an amazing person, she's really motivating because she knows I want to write as well. She's just an amazing human above everything else. She also happens to write some of the best rom-coms I've ever read in my life. My favorite book of hers used to be, straight up, Talk Flirty to Me. That book is amazing. It's got second chance romance. It includes books and audiobooks as well. I'm not going to go into too many spoilers on it, but she also has Planes, Trains, and All the Feels, which is, I think, her most popular, or the one that's talked about the most. She has some kind of Blunderful, and then my new favorite that I didn't think anything was ever going to, push Talk Flirty to Me out of the way, but The Great Dating Fake Off. This is her newest release. Basically, if you take My Big Fat Greek Wedding and you smash it with Mamma Mia, you have The Great Dating Fake Off. So funny, so amazing, so, just like the best banter, the best slow burn, and the best fake dating I've ever read in my life. It is so good. I cannot stress enough how good this book is. It is just fantastic to get through. Like, I read it in advance and then I read it again when it came out. My whole heart goes to these characters. My whole heart goes to them. The reason why Livy is an auto-buy author is strictly because she gets me out of book slumps. There have been several times where I have gone like months without reading. Months. And then all of a sudden I'll wake up and I'll have an email from Livy with an arc. And all of a sudden I'm devouring and I'm right back into reading again other things. She's gotten me out of so many book slumps. I can't even count them anymore. Because I have reread her books to get me out of slumps. One of the best things about her is her ability to draw you in with the romance and the slow burn. When I tell you that her sex scenes are some of the most memorable I've ever read, I have a favorite from each book. I'm not going to tell you what they are because I want you to go read them, but if you love slow burn, if you love plot with your romance, a backstory, character development, the best of the best tropes, Planes, Trains, and All the Fields is for that forced proximity. Just saying. Definitely just pick up one, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. So the next author is an author I don't think many people know about. His name is William Ritter, and he writes one of my favorite YA series. I have the new release in my little hands right now, and that is the Jackaby series. I got the originals. I have the original copies of this book. I refuse to give them away. They are the originals. But the covers, the new ones are just beautiful. This series is like a cross between Doctor Who and Sherlock meshed into one. We have Jackaby, who is a detective. He's a paranormal detective, and he's called in constantly to kind of sort out paranormal misgivings, and he ends up hiring Miss Abigail Rook to be his assistant. He has got, like, I don't remember what they call it for him, but he's got like an aura about him. He's meant to do this job, and he's just the quirkiest and most eccentric yet beautifully minded person. And Abigail, finds herself thrown into his world. This is not a love story between Jackaby and Abigail. I'll spoil that right now. If you're looking for romance between these two characters, you're not gonna find it. This is just straight up paranormal murder mystery. Jackaby as a series is so beautiful. It's so well done. It's so funny, to the point where I have the originals and I have the new covers. I don't typically do that anymore, but I did it with here. So definitely recommend William Ritter if you're looking for like a YA murder mystery fantasy fantastical paranormal series. Definitely recommend. Number 3 is an author that holds a very special place in my heart, because she was one, along with Laurie Forest. This author was an author that I turned to when I was going through like more depressing times, and not really sure of my career path, and just really getting into reading again after a while. She filled that dystopian hole in me, because I was just coming off of Hunger Games and I was looking for something similar, not the same, just maybe something a little bit more mellow. And that's when I came across this author. Her name is Mindy McGinnis. I love her so much. Even like as a person as well, she's just a lovely, lovely individual. She's so kind to me. She actually, like, when she found out that I was hoping for an arc of her book Under This Red Rock, she personally had it sent to my email. Like, that, she's just a glory. She doesn't know me from a hole in the ground, but because I'm a fan and I expressed you know, the desire to, you know, connect with her and just talk to her like a normal person. And I expressed how much I loved her books and how I was waiting with bated breath and hoping I was going to get accepted through NetGalley. She made it happen, and it was such a very kind gesture. I still have the original ARC on my Kindle. I refuse to get rid of it. It's just amazing. But my favorite book from Mindy McGinnis has got to be the one that started it all for me, and that is Not a Drop to Drink. This is a dystopian duology. The second one is called In a Handful of Dust. This is a dystopian, end of the world esque kind of deal. Typically I don't do well with end of the world books, but this doesn't include like zombies or like a virus that, you know, comes in and sweeps everybody off the planet. I'm not going to spoil what this book is about, of course, but this was my very first Mindy McGinnis book. It got to a point where I went looking for her entire catalog, and I even found the 2 books that she has that are no longer in production. Actually, one of them I got from a library sale. Give me 1 second. So as you can see, it's got a barcode on it. It's from Napa County. This book is no longer in production, as well as the other part of the series, no longer in production. But I went scouring the internet for it, and I found it. And then I couldn't find the other one, which is Given to the Sea. And randomly one day at Indigo, there it was. And I snatched that sucker up. I don't know where it is on my shelves right now. It is definitely somewhere. This is like the only time where I'm okay with having this in a hardcover and the other one in a paperback, because these are precious. They're precious commodities. And while yes, there may still be a barcode, and it may say on the side that it's a YA fiction, and it may say Napa County on the front, I don't care. I got the book. It is in readable condition, and I cherish it with my soul. But Not a Drop to Drink definitely sparked my love for Mindy McGinnis, and it hasn't ended. It just hasn't stopped. The next author is one that I didn't think would be an auto-buy author, because we have had a very tumultuous relationship, and that author is Riley Sager. This is more a me and my sister thing. We both love Riley Sager's writing, but some books just haven't clicked with us. Other ones have clicked way above any expectation we've ever had. But there's one book in particular that had me like losing my motherfucking mind. The only one left. This is my favorite Riley Sager book. It kicked Lock Every Door out into the street. I was feral for this book. I read it in 24 hours. I didn't stop. Over one day, I was just like going through the whole thing. I was switching between the physical to the Kindle, and I was just going back and forth. This thing had me like, I love it. I love this book so much. Like I have not read Middle of the Night yet, and I am desperately waiting for the new one to come out. I can't remember the name of it. I'll post this, the cover here. But oh my god. Oh my god. I love this book so much. Riley Sager really is an auto-buy author, because his thrillers, to me, they invoke that thought, that mind, you know, like my brain starts turning over every single time I read one of his books. It goes from like, what is this? Am I right? Am I wrong? Oh my god, I'm wrong. Oh my god, I'm right. Like it goes over and over and over again until like my wheels are spinning out of control, and then boom, it just flows right out of the fucking like woodworks. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. I was right with this one though, and that still holds. Love Riley Sager's writing overall. The only one left, definitely a favorite. So the next author is an author that's just for me. Brit is not a fan of their writing, unfortunately. I have read almost every single thing they've put out. Started with a YA series, and the MMC in that series is still my favorite. But my favorite book from this author is In My Little Hand. And that author is Carrie Maniscalco. I started with the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I love that series so much. It still holds a very special place in my heart. Thomas Cresswell is like the best book boyfriend, especially when he comes to like a YA kind of deal. Best book boyfriend. The banter is glorious. He is so funny. He bothers this poor woman just enough to not get smacked every single day. But he's so funny, and honestly, like, he brings the whole story around full circle. But my favorite so far that I've read is Kingdom of the Cursed. I read Kingdom of the Wicked, and it was more like a YA-ish, like new adult kind of deal with a little bit of like getting there kind of romance. And then this one kind of almost dove headfirst into the adult realm, and it just keeps getting better from there. I get every single book that this girl puts out through pre-order. I pre-order every one. They arrive at my door because I can't have it any other way. They need to be here on release day, and if they're not, I get very upset. The writing is so good. The writing is so good. It's so good. God, I love this series. The next author is one that I haven't read all of their books yet. I'll admit that. I haven't read them all yet, but what I have read, fallen head over heels in love with. And that author is Dawn Kurtagich. She is such a fantastic writer, especially when it comes to like spooky horror, like occult kind of deal. My first book from her that I've ever read is my favorite, and it will remain my favorite, I believe. I don't know yet. I don't know. We'll see. But that book is Teeth in the Mist. This book freaked me out. It freaked me out. She came out with a sequel to this and I screamed. But like, this book is like, I mean, we had to get, again, we couldn't find this book anywhere. We had to get it special order, which obviously we did, because I insisted on getting the hardcover. Oh my God, hold on. I gotta take the dust jacket off for a second so I can show you what I mean. I don't want to ruin it. But the way that she envelops all the senses into this book, like, there are moments in this book, and you can tell just by the different color, like the black and stuff that's here. There are some parts of this book you have to read with a mirror. It's all backwards. There are elements of here where you have to read it upside down. There's all black pages as well. Like, the book is a mind fuck. The book is a mind fuck. And it's the art is just, I can't tell you enough about how she is, and I'll fight anyone. She is the queen of atmospheric Gothic literature, because she brings every sense to life. Like, well, almost every sense. She can't exactly bring scent to it, but you know what I mean? Like, she makes you really work for the story. And I love that. She brings an interactive element to each and every story she writes. She brings out the fear when it comes to certain things. Like, she brings it out, and like, it makes you want to read more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, she even changes like the font for like characters. Like, look at that. It's just creepy as hell. It's amazing. So I make sure every time she releases something, whether it's YA or she's diving into adult, every single time, it belongs to me. They all belong to me. Can I just mention that she's also gorgeous? I'm just saying. The next author is one that, again, I have not read all of their books. They write the most amazing stories. They have mastered the art of writing broken girls. I hold true that nobody writes a broken feminine story the way that this author does. And I started with her most popular book. Everybody knows her for this book, but my favorite is not the one I started with. That author is Courtney Summers, and I believe everyone may know her from Sadie. this beauty right here. A book of Courtney Summers does not leave this house. I will not allow anyone to borrow a Courtney Summers book. They are incredibly hard to find. She is such an underrated author. Yes, Sadie was explosive. Sadie still breaks my heart because it's such a true thing that happens to so many girls. I'm not going to talk about the plot. It's mixed media. It's so many things. And the story of Sadie is beautiful. But my favorite is, again, one that I searched far and wide for because I refused to have it in a paperback. Didn't want it in a paperback. She had to match her sisters, and that is The Project. One, look at the artwork of The Project. You can see the whole cabin inside of her head. Oh God, this book is beautiful. It's also fucking terrifying. It's not something that we hear about nowadays, for sure. It's something that we have heard about in the past. I'll tell you a little bit about it. The story follows Lo, who is looking for her sister. Her sister has disappeared, and she finds out that she has joined a cult. So Lo goes on the hunt for her sister and infiltrates the cult. It is a terrifying story. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's such a beautiful story on how far a woman will go to save her sister. I recommend Courtney Summers to everybody. Go pick up one. Go pick up The Project. You will be surprised. Trust me. And the last author is one that I never considered an author until last year, and that is Grady Hendrix. He has ruined me for all other horror freaking... Okay, let me tell you what happened. We all know the book is going to be this one. We all know that my favorite book is How to Sell a Haunted House. We all know that's going to happen. But let me talk to you. He has destroyed me for all other books, including puppets. And I'm not even kidding you. I can no longer look at a book that has a puppet on it without thinking about Pupkin. He's in here and he lives rent-free. He lives rent-fucking-free right here. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, Grady Hendrix has become an auto-buy author because of this level of audacity. Yeah. I just love the writing. I love the writing style. Oh my God. It's not even real life. It doesn't feel like it's real life. It's so good. I don't know where I went all that time without appreciating Grady Hendrix. Brit knew for ages. Brit always knew. Grady Hendrix, yes. Yes, me, late to the game, per usual. But now I fucking love him. Now I love him. And now, Grady Hendrix, they are pre-order books. I can't wait till after work on a Tuesday to go get the book. Oh nay. Straight to my house, straight to the door. Point blank period. All right. Those are my auto-buy authors. I love them all. They're all amazing people. Again, some of them I've had, actual conversations with. It just makes me want to read their books more because of how lovely they are. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.